Hello and welcome to the Rules of Attrition here on Character Builder Radio, where the only thing worse than dying is barely surviving. We are about to start session 10, woohoo, of our Hard Scrabble campaign. But first, let's do some introductions, starting with Mac.
Greetings, all. My name is Mackenzie, and I play Judge Abel Smith. Judgment comes to those who flaunt the law.
Ryan.
My name is Ryan. I play Bottom Horan. I'm just a little old dwarf who's, I don't know, just scared of everything and shaking in his boots, it seems.
Okay, Angie.
My name is Angie. I play Anu Metasword. She is a cleric who may not be in a good situation, but she's always in good spirits.
All right. Ben.
My name is Ben, and I'm playing Folker, and he's just a woodsman who's really happy that his eyes have, adjusted to the dark.
And I am Emma. I play Hanoa Sumner, Warlock, and happy to be here, I guess. Maybe not anymore. So last I remember, we were delving into our first underground adventure, slaying a bunch of blue creatures along the way. We came across a room that was filled with a lot of them, and then something bigger, and they were chanting, so we noped the other direction. We had a night's rest, so then we hit level 3. Yay! And we started going deeper. And then there were tentacles and 3 eyes looking at us, and a big toothy mouth opened up, and it spoke to us. So Matt, please tell us how we died tonight.
Yeah, so this natural cavern is immense from what you can see. You do, if I remember right, what was y'all's light source? Y'all had somebody was carrying a torch, correct?
We had a lantern.
Lantern, okay. So you guys were in somewhere right around shin deep water, and there were these natural caverns and 2 giant pillars, columns of the natural cavern, and in between those 2 natural columns, these 3 long oval eyes, stacked one upon top of each other, came into view. It's sort of a purplish pearlescence skin, rubbery, and this giant, almost catfish-like looking being, filled up almost the entire cavern, at least 25 to 30 feet high, with just these eyes looking in between these 2 these pillars. These 2 large tentacles came and fell down on either side of you and kind of splashed the water up in between, which just rippled onto your, went about like knee height, just kind of rippling back and forth. The water smells like salt water, and it smells a little fouled. It does not smell like it's kind of even clean ocean water. It smells pretty bad. Kind of looking as far as you can within this cavern, most of your view is just taken up by this gigantic purplish, pearlescent, and pink being with its looks like they're dark maroonish eyes, but they seem like there's a glow behind them that is not lit yet, if you understand. Like it's as if there's like a light on under behind them, but it's not quite shining bright. It has almost a dorsal pectoral fin that you can see back at the very edge of your light, which also raises another 15 feet to the air, and it spoke to you. You can kind of see that underneath those 3 eyes there's a small lip which goes back to a mouth that's kind of like a circular oval mouth that's just got some teeth. But whenever you heard it speak, it was not hearing. It was within each of your mind that you heard it speak to you and call you bipedals and wonder what you're doing here.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think the water got a little bit warmer around me.
I raise my hands.
Don't shoot.
I get into a guarded position with my halberd forward.
Hold on, I'm not gonna make sure you don't raise weapons. We are coming in peace. We are very sorry to have intruded upon your dark and magnificent land.
Wonderful lair.
We just meant to come through. Please forgive this offense. Can I? So I haven't done it yet, but I would kind of like to. No, I think I'm too scared to do that. Never mind. I'll be like, please, what can we do to survive this encounter?
Simply this deep resonating to what your guys' ears. It sounds like resonating track. Resonating voice. It sounds as if there's 5 voice tracks, and each of those voice tracks are slightly like half a second off when it speaks.
Dope.
So it's like 5 of these voices inside of your head that's just saying, "What are you doing here?" I mean, right now, like I said, there's a large tentacle on pretty much on either side of you, and that tentacle is about knee height on the humans, and it's just kind of lying on either side. But outside of that, like it's just kind of there, and you can kind of see its mouth opening and as it sucks in water and then closing again. But outside of that, it's staring at you with what you kind of think are these 3 eyes. And I don't know if you guys can master the immenseness of this thing. This is a gigantic beast.
I've seen bigger.
It comes, yeah. It's maybe a quarter of that size though. It is that big.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's big, guys. Sorry. So
the ceilings in here, because it goes out of light, but you're guessing that the ceilings are at least like 60 feet up, and it comes with that dorsal fin kind of up. It comes close to being 60 feet out of your light range, and you can't even see the backside of this thing.
That's too bad for us.
It's got a great backside.
I bet it has a great. I'd like to catch some fin, if you know what I mean. So Barman is shaking, is visibly and terrified, and I'm going to keep putting my hands up and shaking. I'm gonna like lean into myself a little bit and close my eyes, take a deep breath, and I'm gonna cast enhance ability upon myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it. Let me click this right here. Cast submit. And I will be casting, what is it, the Eagle Splendor upon myself. And so yeah, just taking like going from shaking and taking like a very deep breath. I'm gonna come up a whole lot more assured and confident, and with a silvery tongue try and talk to this thing.
Okay. How do you end up casting that spell?
It's basically just I'm trying to think what the thing is here. A little bit of fur, a little bit of pocket lint or whatever it is.
Okay.
Oh no! I've got my feather. I've got my vulture feather. So I kind of have that, and I just kind of. It's not so much like a big thing like this, as much as it is kind of like mumbling some pep words to myself, and like it's like I'm good enough, I'm fucking strong enough, I'm pretty, I'm meaningful, I'm important, my perspectives are valid, and I'm worthwhile. And then I take a deep breath, and then come back with a
verbal affirmations.
Yeah, they're just affirmations. That's all they are.
During your time, just the small amount of 6 seconds that it takes to cast this spell, it's almost imperceptible, but like the very, very tip of one of these tentacles, that the tentacles, like I said, are huge, but you didn't like when it gets down to the tip of them, they're actually quite small and delicate, and you just realize like as you cast that spell and you go into that, like one of the tentacles had wrapped around that's kind of under the water and brushed slightly up against your calf, and then brushed back at during that time in which you cast that.
Oh baby.
Abel,
Walker starts slipping away towards, like, trying to back up slowly. That's
Abel, there's a little bit of this is a little strange. No, there's no sense of no sense of the main things that you get, the powerfulness. There is a lingering noxious odor, but it is very faint actually. It is extremely faint.
Like evil light.
Yes.
Diet.
Maybe
evil.
maybe like a diet evil light zero.
Is it evil? Crystal evil?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
crystal diet evil light zero.
Zero.
Okay. I am definitely on guard.
Yes, I would like to. I'm going to say something to this thing.
Do you say this out loud?
I do, very much so, out loud. I say, bowing to it in whatever way is humbling and making myself small. That I'm going to say, oh great and powerful being, we know that you could crush us immediately, and you probably will. But please allow us to do something to forgive this offense. Allow us to pass by as we try and make our way back to the surface, where we will never have to pollute your beautiful realm again with our sad sickness.
Roll an insight check.
Cool.
I would like to know while he's.
Do.
Oh. All right, you handle that first.
What?
Can I roll like a persuasion or a
No.
anything?
The being says, "How would you possibly have known that you entered my realm? No offense taken."
That's very kind of you. That's it's a quite progressive perspective to have on such things. It is wrong of me to not believe that you would have such a perspective.
But have you even seen my realm? And then behind this
Zip.
being, this entire cavern suddenly glows in a dull, like orange type of glow. It's dull, but it's strictly, it's 100% orange, as the cavern just illuminates for almost a half mile back behind it. And you just see spires and towers and an entire cityscape that just goes for the entire cavern. But when it's illuminated, you realize that there are several giant pillars all throughout, and you don't even have to make a check, but you just realize that this gigantic, enormous being is essentially in a natural cage. It looks like that it can barely turn around, but beyond it is an enormous cityscape. It appears that it's deserted, but there's spires and towers and just numerous amounts of buildings and canals, walkways, bridges. You've seen nothing going on in any of that, but beyond, like for the next like almost half mile, you can see that beyond there. This thing appears to have been, and when I say just like these columns are somewhere anywhere between 150 feet thick, just pure stone, and it's this gigantic being appears to be trapped inside of this cavern. Not even that it can't even get to the city itself. It's in a smaller cave, which it doesn't look like that it can probably turn around, but it's difficult.
So what they're saying is that in spite all of its age, it's still just a rat in a cage.
It's still just a fish in a cage.
Just a fish in the cage.
Jesus Christ. I would like to know if I even believe this to be real. I've seen a lot of things. Am I just seeing things?
Are you actively disbelieving?
Yeah, I don't. I think they've gotten rid of actively disbelieving since first edition. You can make what kind of check? You make an insight check.
Yeah, I'll make an insight check with my -1 modifier. It's 18!
Yeah, what you end up doing is you end up just kind of like, kind of touching, like touching your own self, and then you reach down and realize the water's there, and the smells and the sounds and the sights and everything is real. And you can hear like the tentacle moving slightly to the side. So it's just everything about your sensory perception tells you that it is real.
Cool. So this is a real thing.
Uh,
I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Once I see this, I actually ask, "Are you in a cage?"
I have laid dormant too long that the earth grew up around me.
That's pretty baller. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm sorry.
But I have no need to move or to go anywhere. My kingdom is here.
What kingdom is this? Besides your great kingdom.
It's never had a name other than this is my domain. I've ruled here. I've been a god for 1,000 to 2,000 years.
What is your name then?
Mallory Meth Myrmiculix.
So Mal.
Yeah, Mal, would you like for me to give your kingdom a name? We could give it a name right now if you wanted.
It's quite okay. I have devoured the last of the denizens over 500 years ago.
Do you want us to get you more denizens?
I have my servant, and I'm okay right now. I said, my brethren are out doing their job, and I've done mine, and I'm calling them back.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. What are your brethren? Are they other great creatures such as you?
Of course.
They are not caged though. They will be making their way back here to join with you.
They will be making their way back. Their tasks are completed.
That is great. That must be great news. I bet you feel very encouraged by that.
Congratulations.
Good work.
Still backing away as far as humanly possible, by the way. If I can start edging my way towards the entrance we came through, that's what I plan on doing. That's just FYI, why Folker's quiet. It's because I'm backing the hell away as quietly as possible.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Ooh,
That's a 24.
Okay.
nice.
Its passive perception is 39.
You back away, and you get to the very back of this cavern, which is only like the passageway between the front of this and the back of the cavern is only about 25 feet. So you back up to the very back side of this cavern, and then kind of inch your way back up the way in which you were coming. And the being does not appear to do anything different. Although very faintly, you do feel like as you're sneaking, you have to step over a tentacle because it was blocking that entire thing. It had gone down, and kind of you had to step over that. And as you step over it, lightly caresses like the back of your thigh, and then you go on. It doesn't appear to have done anything.
Bad touch.
It's one of these. I was in a band called The Bad Touch.
Did Folker just gain a new fetish? I'm just saying. Is this? How does that work?
You gain the feet hentai.
Hentied.
Suddenly you want to stay.
Great dark, great powerful, glorious creature. What can we celebrate? What is the task that your brethren have completed? Please tell us their tale. It sounds very interesting. I bet it is wonderful.
They went out amongst the planes, the universes. But it is I who discovered what is important, and it is here, and I'm calling them back.
Are you able to share this knowledge with us of what is important?
One of you already knows what is important.
I bet I know maybe who it is.
One of you has already experienced the one of the three that has occurred here, and it took the third for me to realize what this finally was.
One of the three that has. When you say here, do you mean this land, this realm, these plains?
I mean where we are at
Okay.
now.
No, so it's not to crush your enemies, to see them driven before you.
To hear the lamentations of their
The
women.
women. That's not what is important.
Hear the lamentations of their squidlings.
You know, and one of you has experienced the Baline Sobos, the Dragoon Din Dagos, the guiding star, the Yohak Takti, the beacon.
Oh, do is that
That's what the lady.
Is this a
called.
painting? Are we talking?
Yeah.
Are we talking about modern art right now? Right now?
The beacon called.
Is anybody who speaks Elvish?
I
Not
believe I do.
I.
I speak Elvish, or Judge Abel Smith does.
I speak
Uh,
Sylvan, not Elvish.
The Baline Sobos is Elvish for the guiding star. And who speaks Dwarvish?
I do.
When you said the Dragoon Dindagos, that is Dwarvish also for the guiding star. Although that's not completely accurate. It's somewhere between something like the Fire of the Forge.
The Dragoon Dindagosh.
It's something like the Light of Forge, or what is the I forget what's that thing called, the little point at the forge where what is that part called? Anyway, never mind.
Pilot light.
It's like a pilot light, but it's the point in which you have the forge in which they do all the like if you do the glass blowing, it's that the little part where the heat and the fire comes out.
Maybe you need to call a dwarf, buddy.
Died facing the beacon called forth by commands. The fuck is happening with this game?
They were
I'm
talking.
just-
Sorry, go ahead. And
No. I'm just going to look across at my companions to try to gauge some sort of reaction. I don't think it's me.
I don't think it's me. It's either, in my opinion, it is either Hanoa but I really kind of think it is the judge.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's some big and smashy thing that the judge might. Guiding star.
Great, Mallory Megmer Mixilun. Is there any way that we can pass through your realm in order to return to the surface?
Said you may have free reign and you may leave, but I require one offering from you that is not your flesh or your life. Just one offering. Something of which
We saw some closets back there.
just appears to be languishing in your presence. Something difficult for you to, I believe, comprehend or to understand.
Oh, cool. Do you want these? Do you want these scrolls here?
That's exactly what I want.
Oh, cool. Take them.
So the big, huge mud scroll
Mm-hmm.
that's encased with all the things. Okay. Yeah. So those two tentacles on either side, you realize like another one comes out from behind the side and just goes right up to you, and then just kind of wraps around the scroll itself. That 3-foot long, big, muddy scroll. It wraps itself right around that, and takes it away. Says, I thank you. This appears to be knowledge of the this is scrolls of the sisters and brothers of those lightning lords that struck me down from my godship.
Oh, that sounds just downright cruel. I'm very sad to see you struck from your godship, and I hope that this offering can somehow or another make you at least comfortable in your present state.
Now that I have seen your greatest wish, I grant it. And a big tidal wave comes over and rushes and pretty much hits and envelops every single person. And as the water flows over on the top, as the water flows over the top of you guys, and yes, even Volker, you had moved quite a little bit of ways away, but water had shot out and covers you. And as the water comes down, you realize that like there's kind of like a icky film to it, and and there's a noxious odor to the film, to the water.
Damn it.
And you guys
Oh, he's coming.
kind of take off whatever through your eyes, and then everybody looks around and realizes that you're essentially floating through the night sky. There are stars everywhere you can see around. When you look to your left, to your right, all of you are just floating in this just black sky with stars everywhere that you can see. And it's just a strange sensation where you look about and you can kind of see the other four. And
I was like, the
everybody-
other four what?
everybody kind of looks over and looking at everybody, and then you finally look and everybody kind of glances and stares at Hanoa as her eyes are white. There are no pupils to her eyes, and they're kind of rolled back in the back of her head.
I go, j'accuse.
And after just a second, when everybody notices that, she just kind of opens up her mouth in like a silent scream, and then the skies begin to roil with storm clouds. These just giant cumulus storm clouds just start roiling. It's as if they're pouring in from the ocean. Just like all of a sudden the storm cloud just suddenly comes up over that, comes up upon you, and then you're just embroiled in these storm clouds. And there's a wave of nauseousness. It's like all of a sudden your stomach gives way, and everybody finds themselves like on this kind of crazy terrain that's like, it's almost like bricks, but they're like natural rock bricks. It's almost like cube stones, and they're all kind of red and black. And then you realize that you're on some sort of like floatingish island, is in this rolling, tumultuous storm cloud land. Just trying to get your bearings. Everybody's stomach and eyes are whirling around as you're like, vertigo seems to be going, and everybody's just kind of on your knees. All five of you are here, and everybody looks about, and everybody's like, okay, everybody seems to be fine. Naturally, everybody kind of looks towards Anoa, and her eyes don't appear to be rolled back or anything like that like previously. She just looked like she does. Like all of you guys are kind of wet on the ground of this almost floating island in this sea of clouds.
I'd like to do a medicine check on Hanoa.
Okay.
Oh, that's a critical failure.
She's dead, Jim.
As you look over towards her, you're just the background to this kind of just makes you nauseous. It's kind of that looking out, you realize that this essentially really is a floating island in the middle of a storm clouds, and just getting your bearings is just too tough to look and understand what's going on. Plus, she appears perfectly normal.
For the record, I'm assuming I had to make a concentration roll to get through all that to keep my spell, and I think I failed it.
Well, you didn't take any damage,
Okay.
so no, your spell is still good.
How
How long does it last?
an hour concentration?
Okay. Yeah.
So
I don't
yeah.
know where we are.
So can we see? The shore of this, is it water or is it nothing?
Oh yeah, there's this island continues. It looks like a little ways ahead, and there's a small structure. Maybe it's a strange type of something up ahead. You're gonna guess. The best of your language tells you that it's a structure somewhere ahead. Off to the sides, it's about 30 feet to either side, and off to either side, it appears that the island just goes down into nothingness. There's no water here. This is just a floating island in a broiling broiling tumultuous cloud.
Is it like covered in grass, or is it just?
No, it's these
Stones.
these stones. It's these almost like brick-like stones. They're cube-shaped stones. They're square, but they appear to be like what I mean, like naturals. Like they don't look like bricks, like they've been laid. It looks like a bunch of these reddish-black cubes of stone, and that creates like this uneven surface, but not almost like a brick road. But it appears the entire structure is made of these.
Anu, I'm fine. Why are you looking at me like that, though?
Your eyes went pure black, pure darkness when we were
Are they
floating.
still doing it?
No, you seem to be back to normal.
Okay.
Do you feel all right, Hanoa?
I mean, I'm covered in the same muck. You are.
Yes, we're all covered in shit. But you feel okay, all things considered.
I wonder if it was talking about me, if Mal was talking about me.
Barman, nice job on the whole talking and not
Thank
getting
you,
us
you were
killed.
great. You
No,
were
no,
excellent.
I don't know that actually happened though. So maybe.
Oh, it was real. That was a real thing.
No, but I mean,
very,
I don't.
very certain that the whole thing is real, and this is real.
No, what I mean is I don't know if we actually survived it.
I mean, this hurts.
Hey Matt,
Yeah.
are there any like?
I pinch Barman.
Well, there's a bunch of rocks around, right?
Concentration roll.
Sure.
I'm
No.
gonna step away from the group and grab my pendant a little bit and just kind of curse at the stones and just say Saran and try to cast Word of Radiance. I'm hoping that wherever he is, Torm's still listening.
Yes. I mean, you're just going to cast. Oh, okay.
I'm just swearing at the rocks.
Traditional Irish day. I'm just swearing at the
Irish as
rocks.
the day is long. You fucking rocks.
Yes. The rock erupts in a divine fury of radiance. Yeah.
And I'll just look back at the group and say, well, I don't think we're completely dead. But
Okay, cool. I'm still pinching myself.
I suppose that's a good thing.
Can we see Falker? Or is he's just still hidden, just in the presence?
There's
No.
light. I mean, if there's ambient light, you see me. I'm in the group.
Yeah. There is. You realize that the lantern pretty much is illuminating light, but there is an ambient light to this entire place. So you don't see a source of light, but
How
there's
far
just
is the structure?
it's about 50 feet.
He said the beacon.
Yeah,
Our
I think
good
that's
friend
what the.
Mal.
I think that's what the old lady called me. The
I
Johan
heard-
T.
Johan T. She was shouting that, and I remember when we were trying to leave the Lolo, I overheard from the party something about a beacon. What was it? Sully Triumph. Those who died facing the beacon. I don't know.
Maybe you are not the beacon. Maybe you faced the beacon.
Maybe I did. Maybe the Tarosk was the beacon.
The what?
Oy, whatever that thing was.
The Tarsk, or I don't know how you pronounce it.
Well, if you want to pronounce it like Matt Mercer, Trask.
Okay, so the
Fucking
Tarsk.
great. The Tarsk.
I'm my own Mercer.
You are your own Mercer.
Rules of Attrition with Matt Hoffine and Mac Mercer.
Mercer. Okay, I don't know if giving the scroll to it was
Yeah,
a good idea for the
that was a
benefit of
terrible
the
idea,
universe.
Well,
And it landed us here.
that thing fucking asked me for that, and I gave it to it. So whatever.
Yeah, no,
I'm happy.
didn't
I'm happy to be in.
immediately kill us.
I'm happy to be in trouble with you right now.
we are all
And still alive, I guess. Yes.
I don't know how many y'all ever been on a what appears to be a floating island in a thunderstorm, but
Never. This is new.
you're awful.
It's not the strangest thing I've seen today.
Inside that thing.
What do you do on your
I don't want to
Tuesdays?
be out here anymore. Can we just not be here?
Yeah,
Is
we
it-
discuss more. Let's go check out this structure.
I tried wishing, but we're still here.
All right, Sassy. You.
I'm panicking, Folker.
So I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be here.
I need salt meat. I need
Um,
trees. I need nut loaf.
Nut loaf,
Where's my nut loaf?
yeah. I'm adding a flaw to my character. I'm a panic eater, apparently. So I'm heading towards the whatever might be something more real.
When I say that it seems like it's a structure, it almost it could be a natural hill with a small cave, or it could be a structure that was like built that way. So it's just kind of like this.
Whatever has more physical presence than on the precipice of a bunch of rocks in the middle of a storm, I'm gonna go towards that.
I'm
Okay.
with you.
I think the exact quote was, "The best of your language tells you it is a structure."
I ain't the best with language, so I'm gonna say it's a thing, but I'm going towards that thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's a thing.
I will follow.
I'm gonna grab some of these rocks, just in case, and I'm going to
I can
follow.
rocks.
No, I am gonna move with stealth.
Okay.
I'm I'm scrambling.
As you move towards this this structure, initially from far away, that it appears that it looks like you said, a hill, like almost like a natural hill just made out of these rocks, and that it looks like it has like kind of like a tilted doorway to it, or a natural entrance that you would think would be like a cave-like entrance that you go to. As you get closer, you realize that it is designed this way, and that the hill, that the mound itself is slightly cocked to the side and spirals, and the doorway itself is tilted toward the side purposefully. The structure looks now like it's on, when you get close enough, it looks like it's a giant tree trunk which has been twisted like several half twists and then cut off like right at the top.
Like if you took a deck of cards and went.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, exactly. If you took a deck of cards and kind of just twisted it like that. Anyway, and so the doorway is almost sideways to go through. And inside, but once you get close to it, you realize that there is just the staircase inside appears to be fairly wide, and appears to be going down.
Here we go again. This is great. What's worse that could fucking happen?
And gravity doesn't shift with us while we move towards it, right? Like our orientation doesn't change to match the pitch of the door, does it?
No.
Okay.
I
I mean,
wanna,
hey, that could totally happen. So,
that could happen. I want
um,
to give a look over my shoulder at the storms and whatnot behind us. Does it look anything familiar to the swirling chaos of the vision trip I went on?
Make an insight check.
With my natural, or my -1 again. It was a natural 20, -1, 19.
It is eerily and absolutely 100% familiar to your
Fuck.
vision trip.
What's going on,
Okay.
Hanoa? How you doing
What's the
over
matter,
there,
Hanoa?
buddy?
he doesn't say anything.
Oh,
so
okay.
I head into the door.
I've been here before.
Who's in front? Who's in front?
I'm
What kind of-
definitely in
what's it-
first, and I'm gonna roll perception to see if I heard her say that. Does a 13? Do I hear her say that?
I would think you do. I just say it. I've been here before.
Yeah, no, but
Okay.
there's an awful lot of thunder, and I'm moving ahead with the purpose to get the hell away from whatever this is. So I want to let GM call that.
So anybody else want to try to see if they hear it?
I would think that I'd be close by to Hanoa
Well,
towards the back.
Just go
But-
ahead. Have the other three, Barman, Anu, and Abel, go ahead and
Wait, what are we rolling for?
roll
If
perception
you
checks.
hear me, say it because it's loud and stormy.
Oh,
I rolled a 2.
That's
I
10.
won't. Yeah, if there's a chance, I just won't roll. I won't be paying attention.
Okay. Folker, you do hear her say that, but she's not saying it loud enough. She's saying it to herself. So if she didn't say it, she wasn't hiding it, but she also wasn't broadcasting it. She was just kind of saying it to herself.
Okay, well, if I hear that, I'm gonna snap turn. Just where I was walking and say, what'd you say?
I've been here before. I don't know if I wasn't physically here, but I've
I
seen
don't
this.
understand all this magic stuff.
I
You've
don't
been here
either.
before. Are we supposed to go in here or not?
Oh, I mean, I didn't see structures. I just saw that, and I point to the storm and the chaos and the craziness.
All right.
When she kind of points out to that, you guys notice that there is the distance is completely unknown, but you can see this huge diamond-shaped island made out of similar type rock of yours just go streaking by and straight up, like it goes from almost like what you would think would be down south to up north and goes out of your plane of view. It moving at an incredible speed. It looked like there was just this giant island that just streaked by.
Okay,
Was that a fucking island?
I
it
don't
was the
know
thing.
if that word can be used to describe what we just saw.
All right, go in or stay out. You go in or stay out.
I'm
Go
going
in.
in. I'm going in.
Step in at least.
So who made the perception check? Also, when you said you were looking inside, didn't you, Folker?
Yeah, I was
And then
first.
I
I'd like to think that I was stepping through the pitched archway whenever I heard her say that, and I snap turned from the entrance.
Okay. So you take your first step inside. There is this strange. The interior also is lit with this ambient light, as if you're not quite sure where the light comes from, but like they said, there's no point source of light, but you can see just fine. And as you take 2 steps inside, what you probably suspected before now happens is that the stairways are twisting, almost in a spiral. And as you take those steps, it realizes that your center, your gravity also twists with it.
So I take a few steps, and if I realize that, I turn back to verify that my companions are at a different pitch than I am.
Yes.
And they are seeing me at a different pitch that they are, so they're not surprised by this.
How are you doing that?
So with every step you take, you twist to a side. And so everybody is watching as everybody spirals. And it's about 30 feet of spiraling stairs. And it gets you almost back. You realize that you have about 10 more stairs, Volker, when there is also, by the way, when you're in this hallway stairwell, it's almost circular in itself. So you're not seeing the sky any longer. You're inside the structure. You're guessing it's kind of going downward and spiraling. And as you go, you can see that up ahead, there is definitely a chamber up ahead with ambient light that it appears that this inside of this thing, it almost appears that this chamber is straight lines, like it's made of these same stones, but it appears that they're almost not random rock-like, but they've been placed. So the walls are smooth, the floor is smooth, and there is a chamber up ahead.
This is
But
what
because of the twist and because the ambient light only lets you see about 45, 50 feet, you can't see into the chamber at this point.
I'm just gonna keep pushing in.
Okay.
Do we have a marching order here? Or do we need one?
Sure. Let me get one on Roll20. I'm gonna get a brand new new page,
Here I go
and I'll just bring everybody
in the storm again.
to that page.
There I go.
All right.
Fucking
So
weird
if you
shit.
want to, so we've just got a blank page. You could bring your tokens over to. And let's just I'll put Volker right down here, and then up would be the direction in which the chamber is heading. So go ahead and put yourself behind Volker in your marching order.
Oh no.
You don't have to be single file. The stairs are about 15 feet across,
Oh,
so
then
you
I'm
guys can't.
definitely alongside Fulker.
All right, there you go. There you go. Okay. So
Barman just crawls inside the judge. Help me.
when you get to you've got about 5 more steps. So you've got about between 15 and 20 feet left to go. You can see the chamber, which is just at this point only like slightly cocked to a side. There appears to be a chamber appears to be square with nothing else in it. The entire thing is visible to you with this ambient light. It is all everything is kind of like this shades of red. So the ambient light is giving off a reddish glow, or you don't know if that's because of all the rocks are this reddish black. But inside here there appears to be a stone structure in the center, and seated around the stone structure in the center, which is a circular stone structure, seated around there are 4 figures in robes with they all have what appears to be like yellowish weathered skin, as if it's like this sallow yellow paper skin. They're all seated, appear to be facing the stone structure. But more importantly, in the center above the stone structure, there is this rubbery reddish purplish being covered in tentacles with this giant eye right in the center that appears to be milky white. And it has several mouths, and you watch as one of its tentacles brings in this other like floating jellyfish creature that is kind of blue, and it has tentacles hanging down, and as the one creature in the center grabs this puffy jellyfish type tentacle, it shoves it into its mouth, and you hear this like popping noise as like this creature is devoured in the side of this reddish purplish tentacled creature that's in the center.
I yelled, "That was freaking sweet!"
There are several other of these faintly glowing jellyfish type creatures that are just like kind of floating around and moving about. They all appear to be like blue, and they make these strange little sounds as they move about, like.
So really fast, so I can visualize this. There's a room. We have a corkscrewing pathway that goes to the room, the stairway. That means that there's not like an extended like foyer or entryway, if you will. The stairs twist literally until it gets to the room.
That's correct.
Okay, so as soon as I notice this god-awful horse shit, I'm going to be... My very first instinct, before I could see much more than that, unless that's my snapshot glimpse, is if because it wouldn't be straight, there'd be a pitch to it, right, because it's twisting, is to use the twist to find any way where I'm not perfectly seen. Like, because if this is corkscrewing, I like to think that otherwise we would have been able to see this like 30 feet away. So if we just suddenly revealed this as we twisted into it, I'm going to step back a few stairs and try to block line of sight for myself, without saying anything to anyone else, or even if I have to push people aside to do it. My goal is to not be seen by whatever the hell is in this room, and I pull an arrow.
Are y'all seeing this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Essentially, that is where it is. I'll allow you to. There's enough twist in this. You're gonna have to jump back about 15 feet to get enough cover because of the twist. But if you go ahead and make a stealth roll.
Natural 20.
Okay.
I am
Um,
the knight. You guys don't even see where I went.
So as far as we
Behind me.
know, he was just disintegrated into nothing.
Well, he just
Yeah, I
disappeared
passed.
again.
I passed by you guys. But I was in the lead, obviously, and moving with some speed. And so the second I saw this, I dipped back to what 15 feet back would have been.
Dip, you
guys
dip, we
see
dip.
this.
So again, there's 3 of the yellow figures.
No, there's 4.
Okay.
Those are 4 little black dots with the yellow figures, right?
Yep.
And they're seated around a circular. Is it a table? You said?
If you
Or a
had to,
dais?
if you had to guess, shit, that's off center. But anyway,
If you hold Option when you drop it, it'll land wherever you want it to.
cool. No, that's clever. It from your perspective, it's a low. From this distance, it looks like a well.
Okay.
And the well itself, the wall is probably about I don't know, maybe 2 feet high. Each of these seated beings appears to be seated facing the well.
Are they moving at all?
No, not moving. They appear to be seated cross-legged. They're bipedal creatures, so that. Hang on.
So the Abela know them.
Yeah, they're seated cross legs with their arms in their laps. I must have missed what somebody said. What'd you say?
Oh,
I saw that. I saw Ryan start laughing. So
Mac made a shitty joke.
Ah.
Very shitty
That's all I do.
joke. Oh my god. What?
but nothing's happened yet.
Is the sound of the storm still as loud in here as it was out on the plain?
Not quite as loud.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it's a little bit less.
I've pitched him down. I pitched him down a lot.
So just the four guys looking around this thing, and then there are these jellyfish things that are flooping around in here that this thing's eating.
Yeah. During this time in which you guys are kind of standing there taking this in, one of his other tentacles reaches out, and one of these jellyfish things is just kind of moving about. It just reaches and grabs that. Its tentacle wraps around it and then kind of crushes it and then brings it into one of its mouths.
Matt, how much time has passed since our encounter with the aboleth? Or with the creature, sorry.
Time's a little difficult, but it has not been. Have not been. Your spell is still in effect.
Okay, good. I would like to walk into the room.
Okay.
I'm going to divine sense again while he does that.
Okay.
I'm gonna flatten myself to the wall.
I'm gonna draw out my mace and say a very silent prayer.
Okay. So with all of that, why don't we at least decide what people are going to do after we roll initiative?
Woohoo!
I already had an arrow knocked, so I
I
plan
know.
on shooting the crap out of the first thing that does something aggressive.
Oops.
That's okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'll change mine to what I.
Yeah.
Mormon
well, I
rolls a
rolled a 12 again,
17.
so
That's crazy.
6.
fucking 24, Fulker.
I have a +7 to initiative now, so I should hopefully be going first most of the time.
I don't have anything.
I have -1.
You have a good heart, Hannah.
Does
Oh my
she?
god, if I wanted. I was hoping.
It might not be hers, but she's got one.
It might not be hers. Good. You'll be here all week. Enjoy the buffet. God, that's funny.
All right. And you click this for what?
Hey.
Okay. Um. Well, Folker, you were pretty much had an arrow knocked, and so you were ready to go from the time but nothing's occurred yet. Barman takes one step forward, and you begins to get out her mace. What are you gonna do?
Well, yeah, that's just it. It's a hard thing with rolling initiative prior to any aggressive action being taken, because
Yeah,
my,
but
my
you
initial call would be shoot the thing that's bad, but I don't know what things are bad. Obviously, I can look at the mat and I can say, hey, it's the big token you put down, but I literally.
but you can hold an action until you're ready.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold shooting an arrow at the first thing that seems like a threat to the group.
Okay. What's a trigger for you to? What specifically? What would you think would be a?
I mean, I'm looking at 5 things, 4 figures, and a thing in the middle,
Okay.
and then a
So
whole
if
bunch of
something moves,
things
if
flying around.
something
So if one
moves
of those
towards
5
it,
things does
Aggro.
any movement that's not like, hey buddy, welcome to our tea party. If they do anything other than that, I'm shooting it.
okay, got it. All right, Barman, you said you were moving slightly forward.
Is I'm gonna walk into the room and I'm gonna say, "Hail, Guardians! I am Bugvagdor of the Houses of the Baal Nord, and we are travelers and champions of the realm coming through seeking passage. Please grant us passage and safety."
Okay. Got it. Hanoa?
Do I need to roll a deception since that was a lie?
Yes.
And there you go.
Mm.
Hold on real quick. I have advantage.
You have advantage.
Okay, I'll take the first one.
Which is
20.
Not natural. A dirty 20.
A dirty, dirty 20.
Okay. Hanoa, you're up next.
I'm pressing myself up against the wall, but shimmying 5 feet forward. And I am absolutely gonna hold an action. Same trigger Folker takes. Anything aggro, not like welcome to our tea party. I'm holding Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I like that trumpet blast.
Mm.
That's hot.
So Barman, you notice that the being in the center, actually roll a some sort of lore.
History?
Yeah, history.
Arcana?
Or actually do an Arcana check.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. This being has a familiar shape to it.
Spherical?
But yes, with a large central eye.
Mm-hmm.
And so this eye that was kind of like milkyish white appears to all of a sudden like focus in your direction, and then in your head, you hear. You see like one of these tentacles that had grabbed one of these creatures that was floating about, the jellyfish creature. The tentacles wrapping around it, and you know that it's getting ready to crush the life out of the thing, the jellyfish creature. But instinctively, you hear from the jellyfish creature in your head saying, "It's evil. It will kill you." And then it gets crushed.
Oh. Little guy.
And when you speak, you can feel something happening to your brain, like a pressure. Like there's some sort of pressure that like it's as if somebody was taking your head and trying to squeeze it, but it's actually on the inside of your head, but nothing happens. It's as if you felt something that tried to get to you but didn't. And then and then both Noah and Folker, you realize that it begins to move forward towards Barman, and some of its tentacles start moving in the direction that looks aggressive towards it. And both of you may fire.
7. That doesn't.
Okay. Your Eldritch Blast just goes wide. You're aiming for it, and it just kind of avoids it with its rubberiness. It just kind of skirts off to the side. And the Eldritch Blast, what's the word you use?
Cool.
Yeah. Whether it's you are still kind of standing off kilter on one of these stairs, and so you're just slightly off angle, or whether it moved out, or all of the above, your greenish black bolt of energy just kind of goes wide and doesn't connect. On the other hand, making all kinds of corrections for wind and gravity, and
When I roll a 1,
Fulker takes a shot.
I hit it. Why did it not?
Never sent.
There we go.
Oh.
Much better.
26 to hit.
Yes, and this arrow goes flying and just disappears into this gelatinous, rubbery mass. It just,
Ooh.
and you do how much damage?
Okay, I was about. Do I get to roll damage or does it just get absorbed? I do 8 damage with the shot, and then because of my Dread Ambusher ability, as long as it's the first round of combat, I get to add 1d8 to my attack, and I get to take an additional attack with my attack action.
Okay, you don't get to take an additional attack with one that you held. I don't
If you
believe.
take the attack action on that turn, you take an additional weapon attack as part of that action.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's the case when you hold an action.
Because we're forfeiting a reaction, right?
No, but this isn't a reaction. This
Yeah.
is like having a warrior at level 5. When I attack once, I attack twice.
Yeah, it doesn't say bonus action or reaction, I don't think.
It's just my attack action on the first turn equals 2 attacks.
Right, but I don't think it's an attack action because you're holding an attack. So,
That's interesting. That's like
yeah, because it's not a full attack action. I don't believe. Well, this time, since I'm not quite sure if that's the way that works, we'll allow it to happen.
Either way,
yeah.
if my attack hits, which the first one did, I do an
It
extra
does.
damage.
So do your extra damage for sure.
So 7. So
So
I do
7.
15 points of damage.
But tell you what I'll allow this time, since I actually don't know.
you're Matt, you're right, because it's the ready action. If you take the ready action, that's the action that you're taking.
And
It's
you're
not a full-
using- You're
it's
using
not
a reaction to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a full attack action.
Okay, had I known that, I would have just held my turn and changed my position in the turn order. So that would have let me pull it off. It's because you can hold your turn and drop it into a different place in the initiative order, but it's permanently stuck there instead of
Right.
holding an action.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have done to drop my initiative order down to 6 to be after this guy.
Okay, well then let's just do that then. So your now your initiative is 6.
Yep.
And so yeah, you do this right prior to Anu. So then you get your other attack.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want to screw
Okay.
you out of your
No,
roll.
no, we're learning a new ability. That's how stuff goes.
Yeah,
I don't think 14 hits, but
14 does not hit. In this case, your arrow just seems to, in this other attack, your arrow flies and it actually kind of hits one of these tentacles, but it just goes straight through the tentacle and doesn't appear to have done any kind of damage to it. Like it just kind of and goes through the thing and goes and falls out to the other side, having lost its momentum.
You were killing it with tentacle noises.
Okay, so Fulker, having fired his 2 arrows, the being actually still gets a chance to go. Since
It's been real, guys.
so it moves forward, hovering. Moves forward and then reaches out. Right there, gets right to there and reaches out with a tentacle that tries to wrap and go and strike Barman.
AC's 8.
So 24. So let's see.
He's 8.
You take 10 points of damage, and the damage is not even from the tentacle. When the tentacle comes and wraps around you, it feels warm and rubbery, and it's not unpleasant. But when it hits you, your brain, and you take 10 points of psychic damage, is just this jolting shock hits you as this tentacle attempts to be dominating your brain and doing psychic damage to you. I need you to also roll a grapple check.
What is that? Athletics?
Yes.
All right. I rolled 19 because I'm big and strong and beefy.
You do manage to actually, when it tries to wrap around and it hits your brain, you just kind of freak out, and you manage to get the tentacle just kind of goes wide, and then just kind of goes off and doesn't wrap around. The being then backs up 5 feet this direction, and then you guys notice that some of these tentacles swirl around from 2 from the top and 2 from the bottom, and just all start to glow. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is nothing. A ray shoots out from one of these eye stalks, and Barman, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Peace, guys. It was good knowing you.
DC of 13.
I rolled 18 because I'm big and strong and beefy.
This ray comes out and shoots and just barely misses, or it actually hits you, and you feel like you're tempted to being pushed in a direction, but you just kind of put your feet up against the thing and manage to avoid this ray pushing you into a different direction, while a second tentacle from the top begins and fires. And that's at 1, 2, 3, 4 at Anu. This ray comes out, and it's like a sickly yellow ray that shoots out from another one, and I need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Constitution. Save. Oh, that's a 10.
As this sickly yellow ray strikes you, you realize that you just can't move, and you are stunned for 1 minute.
Well, that's fun.
6. The last ray fires off, and actually, let's see, which one does it do? This ray fires, and it actually strikes at the seated creature that's right here, and then you realize the seated creature, all of a sudden, like, its mouth goes back, and its eyes don't open, but its mouth goes wide, and it almost looks like it's been knocked a kilter, but it doesn't break its seated position at all. So it looks like it's still seated with its legs crossed and its arms in its lap, even though it's now sitting like this, and its mouth is wide open. What did I miss?
Nothing. We're just dead.
Okay, so now it's Anu's turn.
I'm stunned.
Yep. At the beginning of your turn, you may make a saving throw.
Okay. Constitution?
Yep.
Fucking
Okay.
7.
Yep, you're still stunned. So let me make sure that we get, let's just do that. Okay. All right, so Abel.
Okay. I twirl my halberd over my head, and I scream, "In the name of the law," and charge in, and that was casting a spell.
You're gonna take a 5-foot step forward.
I'm casting a bonus action spell. Yeah, I'm gonna take a 5 foot.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Because I figured you were going for your reach.
I'm casting Divine Favor,
Okay.
and I will attack. Sorry. And before you say anything, I will channel Divinity to turn that 10 into a 20.
Wow. Okay.
And if that hits, I will
That does hit.
Divine Smite. So, this is the
harder
damage
now.
from the halberd.
So divine smite is that's your smite. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the halberd does 9 damage.
Got
The
it.
Divine Favor is going to add 1 point.
Okay.
And then the Smite is going to add 8 more points. The 1 and the 8 were all radiant, if that matters.
Okay. So a total of 18.
Yes. Don't mess with my little buddy.
Good talking to your packer.
Yeah. So coming in overhead and screaming out, what was it again?
In the name of the law.
In the name of the law.
That was the verbal component of casting.
Right.
Divine Favor.
And a two-handed strike over the top of your head with the halberd, and the halberd just cleaves next to the eye, just goes, and it just, you meet a slight resistance as the halberd just makes a big slash, and a little bit of ichor just runs out. It doesn't quite get to the eye, but it goes through there. It doesn't sever any tentacle, but you can just see like this gaping jelly kind of wound in this creature. Okay. Barman.
Oh, hubba. So can we say that right now I am currently being threatened by this creature?
You are not. You are not actually.
It's
You're not within 5 feet of it.
I thought it reached out and did something
It
to
did,
me.
and then it moved backwards.
Oh,
Moved 5
touch
feet
things.
back.
okay, that is good to know. So what I'm going to do, seeing my good friend the judge rush up next to me, I'm going to move 5, 10, 15 feet, and I'm gonna say,
You get him.
yeah, judge, get that sad sack of scrotum, and I'll give the judge
Inspiration?
Inspiration, indeed.
All right, he's got inspiration.
Where's my inspiration? Okay, and then so that was my reaction, and that was my move. And for my action, I'm going to say, I'm going to turn to the thing and be like, yeah, I fucking called you a sad sack of scrotum because you look like a fucking sad sack of scrotum.
A red scrotum.
A red, bulbous, sad, veiny. So yeah, DC 12 wisdom save.
All right.
It's a hard save.
+5. 15 saves.
Sounds correct. Okay. And that is it for me.
Okay.
Should have healed myself because I'm going to die now.
Hanoa.
Fuck.
What happened to? Shouldn't it be? Oh no, he reset himself. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Yeah.
You got this. You can tank it.
I'm going to attempt. I don't know if I put this on my character sheet yet. Oh, I have put this on. Is it 30 feet? How far am I from it? Cool, I'm like 25 feet from it. I'm gonna cast blindness on it.
Hmm. Okay.
I say scalp, and it must make a DC 12 con saving throw.
Okay.
If this works, I'm getting a scalp tattooed on my chest. It's Alf, but he just eats shit.
What was the DC?
12.
Yep, roll the 16.
Ah!
The blindness goes and appears like its giant eye just kind of blinks once, blinks a couple times real fast, and then doesn't appear to have any kind of effect to it.
And I can't do that. I can't do that. That's it. That's my turn. I fail and don't feel like moving. I'm too scared to move.
Okay. I know within your mind, you feel also that like the thing where you get this pressure on your head, as if there's something that is probing your brain and something that is attempting to dominate your brain.
Ooh.
But deep within the recesses of you hear a distinct voice within your head, a very distinct, familiar voice that says, the forms protect you.
Oh. Okay. Yep. My action was casting the spell. I imagine doing the forms as an action.
So, okay, then it's the creature's turn. It moves this direction, and with its tentacle attempts to attack Abel with its tentacle.
Wait, but okay, never mind.
Go ahead.
Sorry, nothing.
The tentacle attempts to go across Abel, but I assume just it either slips off or you just manage to move out of the way, Abel. But one of these mouths on its kind of side attempts to go and bite at Barman.
I'm gonna say, get your fucking mouth off me, and I'll do cutting words on it.
Does that happen before the attack? That's a reaction, right?
It's a reaction, yeah, to being hit, I think.
Oh, is it to being hit? Well, you haven't been hit yet.
No. It's just when you make an attack roll. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I'll roll my d6, and you can just minus that from your roll.
Got it. So that's 3 less on my attack.
Yeah,
Or...
3 less on your attack roll. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So 9 plus 5 would be 14, which would hit, but it's minus 3 and does not hit.
It still hits.
Oh, still so 11 hits?
I have an AC of 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you not wearing leather armor?
Nope.
No.
I thought we convinced you to wear leather armor.
Nope. That was my last inspiration.
Didn't want to put it on.
You bitch.
So as you're saying, get away, and this just mouthy blob comes forward and just reaches out and grabs, bites. Oh, that's not good. That's 18 points of damage as its teeth just crush.
Shit.
Okay, but it's only permadeath if it goes all the way past your current, right? Or like your total.
The damage has to be more than half your total.
All right, I am at 0.
Beyond negative.
Half or you're full?
I think it just has to be half your total in the negative. So if you have 18
Doesn't-
and it does -9, that would be enough to be instant.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. Yeah, I'm at 0.
Okay.
I'm unconscious.
So it reaches out and with its mouth, it just grabs a hold of him, and you hear him say, "No, not the!" As the teeth just rip into his torso.
Literally the scene from Jaws where Quint's getting chewed up. That's exactly what it looks like right now.
And he's not engulfed or anything, and he just falls down to the ground. You can just see, as soon as he hits the ground, just blood starts kind of pooling out along the ground, going in these nice geometric patterns in between the stone blocks.
That's a nice touch. I appreciate that.
Okay. Volker. Oh, wait. No,
You're full.
I am not finished yet. I'm sorry. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Volker. 4. Make a DC dexterity save.
Does cover
Dexterity saving throw. I'm sorry?
Does the cover that I have help with that at all?
No. Because, I mean, it's not... You're firing and his firing. It's a ray, so it's essentially the same thing.
Okay.
So, dexterity saving throw?
24.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like another sickly orange ray fires out, but you feel yourself kind of go and feel like things are slow, but then you speed up and you're okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And okay, so one ray strikes another one of these seated creatures, and it's kind of in the back here, so you're not quite sure what happens. And another ray actually hits the second to the last of these floating jellyfish, and it explodes into a gassy noise of. All right,
Oops.
so now it's Folker's turn.
That's lovely. With the ray ripping past right in front of my face, I say Kilak, and cast Zephyr Strike on myself as a bonus action. Until the spell ends, my movement doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. Once before it ends, I give myself advantage on a weapon attack and add 1d8 to the force damage. Whether
Okay.
I hit or miss, I can also move 60 feet this turn.
Got it.
So I'm going to roll with advantage.
Are you gonna move at all?
Not until after I shoot.
Okay.
So 25 to hit,
25 hits
5 points of damage
plus your
for the
D8, right?
shot, and then 6 points of force damage, so 11 total.
All right. Well, that arrow goes and almost disappears, and so you see it take a. Actually, the arrow doesn't quite disappear. It goes straight through, right above one of the eyes, and you see the arrow fall back out on the back side of it because it went through. It's like ballistic jelly, went, and it kind of falls out down on the other side. A little bit of ichor just kind of streams down through the hole.
Just falls out.
Okay. Well, I can't really be of much help. Let's see. I mean, my teammate in front of me is already incapacitated, and I heard a yelp from inside, or a yell that was silenced. So
The yelp was, "This place sucks."
yeah, I'm gonna move up here and then move over here to hopefully,
Okay.
I don't know, have a different angle, distract him, something like that.
Okay. All right. And you, at the beginning of your turn, you may make your saving throw. It's a Constitution save.
Come on.
Okay.
That's 16.
So you find yourself able to move now.
Oh, motherfucker.
You
I'm gonna-
have your move action and everything.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
Oh,
move
you move
forward.
and your attack action.
I'm
Okay.
gonna move forward, and I'm going to instantly see that Barman is not really with us anymore, and I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and say Vol Kazak, and ask my good friend Torm to spare the dying.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially like he does not gain any kind of consciousness, but all of a sudden you saw that his breathing, which was like close to agonal breaths, and the blood, which was still kind of oozing out of the side, and going in these it's a crazy weird pattern. Like it forms like this brick, almost lightning bolt looking on the ground. All of a sudden that just kind of dries up, and then his breath kind of, when it was agonal, just slowly becomes normal breathing. But his eyes do not move, and his muscles do not twitch.
No, sure. I'll just say, I'll get to you in just a moment, friend. Hold tight. And as my bonus action, I'm going to kind of just growl, Varakan, just in pure rage. And fuck, where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, I did, didn't I? And I'm going to cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
As I do, a very large white gauntlet appears, hopefully appears next to me. Just really obnoxious, blinding light, and I just kind of look at it and say, "Torm, we could literally use a hand here."
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
look
was
at
trying.
the
I
little.
was trying to see if I could find a token for it, but
Oh shit! I was supposed to send you one. Sorry.
okay.
Then I'm gonna look over at the creature and be like, "Not again, you piece of shit. You're going down."
We've used these before, but we'll just put. Let's see. We'll just put. All right. So that's your spiritual weapon there. Your this dwarf. Bandit
Beefier
type.
than I am.
Can I actually attack with it the first time? Is that
Think so.
possible, or is it
Yes.
not because it's a bonus action?
When you cast a spell, you can make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. On hit, the target takes force damage equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
So yeah, it comes into existence fighting.
Oh hell yes, yes. I would like to strike, or I strike, whatever.
Well, would that 9? Would that have been your roll?
I guess, is it a roll to hit? I've never
Yeah,
cast this before.
That's what that
Uh,
is.
Yeah, that's the roll. She rolled a 4, and then she got her proficiency bonus of.
Yeah. So the gauntlet comes into existence, but it misses.
But of course
So
it doesn't do it.
It comes in like through the ceiling. All of a sudden, you just see like this giant white gauntlet just come down and goosh, and it tries to hit, but it grazes right past this being and just hits the ground, and it's just kind of floating there now. But it didn't appear to do any kind of damage this time.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Abel.
I'm gonna yell, Barman! And I try to shove. I'm gonna do a shove attack to shove the thing back away into the room, further away from Barman.
Okay.
That should be opposed strength checks, I believe.
Got it.
I rolled a 16.
I roll the 12.
So I'm going to use the full reach of that to shove it back 15 feet as I step to here.
5, 10, 15. That far?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, the very top of the halberd has just a little tiny spike, and man, it just goes right into that jelly, and you're just able to just push it back. And since the thing is hovering above the air, you just move it back like this massive floating jelly straight back, and it doesn't even take all your strength to do so, and you push it backwards as you scream "Barman," and you take a 5-foot step forward.
Yep.
Anything else?
That's
Okay.
the only action I have.
Oh shit! I went past Barman, but
I'm out. Doesn't matter.
you wouldn't able to do anything anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hanoa.
Mind, body, will. Mind, body, will. I just start doing that.
Okay.
Using the turbulence.
You speak that as a and the pressure on your head goes away, and that just was a bonus action, so you may still have your actions
cool.
and everything. You just kind of go through it real quickly. It's almost as if you're just casting a quick kind of spell.
Hey guys, if you get headaches.
None of them seem to work except for the part where you get around to the mind.
Okay. Mind.
But that's just a bonus action, so you
Yeah.
still have full action and move.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it. It's a 13.
Oh, 13 once again. Just there's something that's distracting you.
Maybe the panic. Probably the mild amount of panic.
It's probably those things, but actually, what's really distracting you are the seated figures.
They're kind of creepy, aren't they?
You
kind of yellowy.
I feel like
Kind-
home.
You kind of hate them.
I don't like these things. I mean,
The tentacle creature is a grave threat, but you kind of hate these other things.
I'm gonna shimmy up to Anya.
Okay,
That's my turn.
got it. Okay, this being, if it has any kind of expression, has some slight hate in its eyes as it moves forward to here, which it then wraps a tentacle, attempts to make a tentacle attack on Abel. Natural 1 misses, so one of its tentacles comes close, and you just swiftly just take the thing and just sever that tentacle. One of its many, so it doesn't do much of anything. It just kind of falls on the ground and does a little rat tail thing back and forth. But then it attempts to come forward and bite you as well. 19.
That will hit.
Not nearly as much. 12 points of damage as its teeth.
You say 12?
12.
Okay.
12 points of damage as it pierces down and bites upon your arm that you kind of block with your holding your halberd out, and it managed to get part of your elbow, and 2 of the teeth just sink in between the parts of your chain and just get in there, and you realize you know that you're bleeding somewhere around in your elbow. Then it backs up 5 feet.
Do I get an attack for that?
You can if you like.
'Cause yeah,
Attack of opportunity.
It leaves a threatened space.
yeah.
800.
I rolled a 9.
You can add your inspiration if you need to.
Oh, what is the inspiration? D6?
D6, yeah. Or save it, whatever. It's no big deal.
I'll roll it. Why not? So an 11. I'm sure that misses.
No, it just misses. You trying to reach out and get it, and you reach back that way, and you just realize, oh man, your elbow just hurt. You kind of pull back just a little bit too much. You don't get full extension on there, as your elbow's kind of bleeding, and realize that was a pretty tough bite into your elbow. Took away a little bit from your attack. Hang on, let me get rid of inspiration. Gone. As it backs up, the eyes begin to roam around again. The first one centers right at you, Abel, and you need to make a charisma save.
Okay.
DC 13.
Rolled a 14.
Okay. You realize that it was trying to berate you and give you attack your will, or not attack your will, but attack your resolve in many ways and make you averse to the situation. But you definitely resist that. And it's going to go on a 3. Anu, you're no longer stunned, but I need you to make a DC strength saving throw.
Strength. Motherfucker! It's a 4.
You are pushed backwards 30 feet backwards up the stairs, and you kind of like it cha-ching, 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 as you get shoved backwards, kind of on your back and hitting your armor going backwards, and you kind of turned back up the stairs. It pushes you 30 feet backwards.
You will hear me swearing all the way down the staircase.
Hanoa had just come running up. It's like, Anya!
It's actually up the staircase.
I don't have any fucking direction sense right now.
Gravity's fucky here anyway. It could be down for all we know.
Okay, and the last one. Well, it's got to go towards Folker. Folker, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
It's the first one.
18. You realize that it attempt, this yellow sickly ray that you saw had hit Anu, shoots out towards you, but you resist that. Okay, and now Folker, it's your turn.
All right. Let's see how many spell slots I can expend here. The answer, all of them. So I'm going to. Let me make 1 second. Oh, cancel. I want to check this really fast. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to say Pabon under my breath again and throw up a hunter's mark
Okay.
on him, so he gets a bit of a glow to me. I can see him very clearly.
Got it.
And I'm gonna try to shoot him again.
And if this will deal a 1d6.
Yeah,
if you
it'll
hit,
deal an
right.
extra 1d6 damage.
Got it.
Doesn't say. I'm assuming that's extra. That's whatever the attack of. It doesn't say it's special damage, so I'm assuming it's just 1d6 piercing, like the bow.
Sure.
Ooh, 13.
13 misses. So this time you just avoiding that ray this time. You quickly cast your spell and you just didn't take enough time to aim and just boom, whiffs just to the side, slightly off. Any other movement?
No.
Okay. And you've been pushed back 30 feet back up the stairs. You don't have to get up or anything because you've been pushed back and you actually managed to kind of get back up onto your feet. It just moved you 30 feet backwards.
Sure.
Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Hang on. Oh. Also, I'm sorry. You are restrained. It is still holding you back 30 feet until its next turn. So,
Okay.
You have a wall of force holding you in place, basically.
Yeah.
So I can't do anything?
You
can
yeah,
still
actually,
do stuff.
I think you should be allowed to make another save. So go ahead and try to make a save to resist it on the beginning of your turn.
You can also do like verbal spells too.
That was my question.
Yeah. Plus
Yeah.
your
Plus
you can direct 100%. You can direct your gauntlet and make an attack with that for sure.
Right.
That's
Okay, I'm gonna assume that I can't see Barman, which is
no, you can't see far.
a real bummer right now. So fuck it.
If you want to try to move, then because restrained only means you're where is it? You just have a speed of 0, and attack rolls against you have advantage, and you have disadvantage on dexterity saves.
Sure.
You can do everything else, but if you want to try to move, you can attempt to make a saving throw against this.
Yeah. What do I need to roll?
That's a strength DC
Strength.
13.
Fucking, that's a critical failure.
Now this ray has just got you got you pinned in that you're not able to move. You're frustrated and just not able to move anywhere.
Okay, so do I have any more options, or is that burned?
That's just for your move part. You still have all your attack action. Whatever you can do, you can do. You just have no movement speed.
Sure. I'm glad Barman's at least. I'm glad he's at least stable.
Yeah, I'm not dying
There's
currently.
not a whole lot I can do from here, but I'm going to angrily grab a little bit of cloth that's hanging off of my armor, and I'm going to say Mithrium, and I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt. And I'm going to aim it at this guy over here. Assuming I can see him. If not, then I'm going to hit the big fucker.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to see with the angle of that thing, the person that's sitting down over there. Just because of the tilt, it's pretty tough. He would have quite a bit of cover to try to hit that. The what do you call it? There's no cover for the guiding bolt because the ray is still in effect on you, and so you have good shot at the creature.
Okay, well then I'll just direct it at the creature. I don't want to push it too much.
Well, 18. this guiding bolt, just this bolt of divine energy streaks forward, and it hits this creature for sure.
No, it's pure rage at this point. So that's going to be level. I'm going to cast it at level 1. It's 10 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
And I'm also going to 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm going to ask my good friend Torm to seek and destroy, and my gauntlet is going to move if I can. Oh, I can't move it. I'd like to move it right here because it can move up to 20 feet,
Okay.
and I would like him to do a melee attack on this guy.
Okay.
So that's gonna be, oh crap. Okay, throwing down the gauntlet. It's gonna be a 24.
Okay. And so that will hit, but go ahead and roll your damage.
Throwing down the gauntlet. Have at thee.
It's gonna be 8 force damage.
Okay.
Farce damage?
I think it's fun. I don't know.
No, you're right. I'm being silly. It's farce.
This whole thing's a fire, Sparman.
When the gauntlet comes down, is it going to be like a closed fist?
No, I would say for this instance, it's just an open hand.
It's an open hand, almost open hand slap across.
It's a very much a slap, yes.
When it slaps, this creature, which is seated in a seating position, falls over onto its side, but its legs are still perfectly crossed. Its hands are in its lap, and you just see like this yellowy caked dust and a little bit of particles of clothing just kind of fly into the air, and you can kind of see these motes as they just kind of go off into the air and then kind of fall down.
Yeah, restrain that, bitch.
Was that Torm's pimp hand?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Torm's
Keeps it strong.
slap. Torm is like, what did the 5 fingers say to the face?
How many rings are on that Tim Pan too?
Hanoa, you hear a small cackle inside of your head. All right, Abel.
I've got the halberd outstretched toward the thing, and
Oh, yeah.
with one hand, and I reach back with my another hand and touch Barman, and I yell at him to defend himself. And you gain 10 hit points.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay, so Barman jumps up to 10 hit points.
That would be my turn.
That's your turn. Okay.
Did you just lay
Oh, I laid hands
Yeah,
upon
okay.
you. I took damage. I should have done a concentration check to keep divine favor up. I have not done a concentration check in 5th edition. What is it? Just a con?
Yeah, I think it's just a con save.
Against.
You have to beat 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
10 or
Well,
half.
then I'm gonna do that now to see if I.
Because what
And
of
I
yours
did.
is up?
Divine favor.
Oh, okay.
Did you
Okay.
get
And
damage?
I lost it. So no, I haven't used it since then. It's just
He
I should have.
used it in his first round, but he hasn't used it since.
I haven't
Right,
used
but
it
you don't,
since then.
you don't have to use in 5th ed. You don't have to keep rolling it to see if you keep it up. It keeps it up unless you take damage. The roll is
Right.
Right, but
Right.
and he took damage.
And I took damage. I just forgot
Oh.
to do a con save. That's what I'm correcting. That's why I did lose that spell.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, all right, that one's out. Okay, so that was Abel's turn. Barman, you're on the ground. You just eyes pop open and just, holy crap, you're alive.
Eyes pipe open.
Did I say eyes?
You said eyes. That's fine. That was fine. Um,
Your sphincters pop closed.
he seals right back up. It was almost just way open. All right, Bubba.
Sounds like
hubba.
closing of a Ziploc bag.
Yellow and blue make green. Okay, so I like get up and I'm like, yep.
It takes half your move to stand up.
Thanks, Judge. You're a fucking peach. And peach happens to be a healing word. And I'm gonna drop a level 1 healing word on. Give him 5 points of the healing.
5 feet to healing.
And then
Who are
I'm
you healing?
to you.
Yourself?
No, to you.
Oh, thank you.
One good turn deserves another. And so then I'm gonna move 5. So half of my movement is 13. So I'm gonna move 5, 10. Take cover behind Hanoa. And be like,
Yes, after this fight, we'll take a break. Or if the fight keeps going, we'll take a break.
and I'm
If we
gonna.
need that's up to you guys. If we need a break, the fight will probably go for a little bit longer. You want to take a break right now, mid-fight?
Okay, wait. Let me finish my thing then, real
Well,
quick.
Yeah, Barman finishes his turn and we'll take a
Mhm.
break.
I'm gonna yell. Hey, I called you a scrotum and you killed me, but that was not before I had this girl with an idea in front of me. So you're fucking dead now, and I'm gonna viciously mock it.
Ah!
So DC 12. Sorry,
wisdom.
wisdom. Yeah.
All right, +5. 17.
All right. Okay, I'm done. Are we breaking there?
Yeah, okay. Well, this is a thing that is happening and I don't like it. So we're gonna go take a quick bio break and we'll be back in a couple minutes. 8 minutes, I suppose?
5/8.
Alright.
Yeah.
8 minutes.
So,
I stream.
so 40 minutes.
What you doing? Eat it on stream, you weenie.
I'm eating carrots. I'm trying to get the best sound possible. It's called Foley work, nerds.
I love Easter time because they always come out with rainbow gum.
Mmm. My favorite is the Chicks, Ducks, and Bunnies.
Oh, for the sweet tarts?
Sweet tarts, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find any last year. I was really mad.
My favorite is the peanut butter eggs, even though they just taste like regular Reese's Pieces.
I feel like there's more peanut butter in them at least.
Okay.
This D&D stream is now a mukbang.
Now what?
A mukbang.
What the hell is that?
It's a video where people eat food.
Oh.
It's popular for like people who live alone. And so they sit there and they watch people eat food. It's like having a meal with someone.
Why don't you just go to a restaurant and watch people?
No. Well, real people might find it weird. In like popular Americanized versions of it, they also like do AMAs while doing a mukbang.
Some of these carrots are frozen.
Frozen?
Not good. They were too far back in the fridge.
Mmm. Matt, I was joking when I asked you to tell us how we die. You're not supposed to actually tell us how we die. I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Katie. Keating.
Come here,
Hello.
I once knew a girl named Keating.
Oh,
Keating?
come here, bear. Come here, old lady.
Bear.
Say hi, old lady.
Oh, look at that
Old
old
lady.
lady. I want to be
My
friends
kitty
with
cat
her.
is sleeping on my blanket. She's like, it smells like you, but it's not you.
Well, they were very upset we were gone. All three of our cats have some level of separation anxiety. And
Yeah.
the old lady, she turns 18 this year. She's
Time to party.
an old girl.
Can buy herself some porn.
I mean, she could also die for our country vote if she was a human and, go to real prison. But
Porn.
porn.
Corn?
no.
You say corn?
Porn!
Corn of the popped variety.
Nom 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 nom. Oh, what do you get? What do you get? PB&J?
What's PB&J? Totally PB&J.
Fuck yeah, PB&J.
PB&J!
We can rally now.
We got the PB&J power.
Oh, it's peanut butter jelly time.
Where you at? Where
I'm
you
not
at?
turning
Yeah,
Where you
where
at?
you
I'm sure that's copywritten by someone.
Yeah.
Like the Wilhelm screams not.
No, it's not actually.
What's wrong?
Really?
Streams is public domain.
Mr. Wilhelm's very generous.
It's like from a 1950 something movie. Yep. Gotta be public domain by now, right?
Well, as long as it's not owned by Disney.
There's like two things left that aren't.
Because the Wilhelm scream was originally titled "Man Being Eaten by Crocodile," I think. I think that's the name of the sound file.
Well, that's horrifying.
But the character's name in the first time it was used was Wilhelm.
And he screamed.
Why is my camera? I just noticed on the stream, my camera is very zoomed in.
It's as zoomed in as it is for.
No, it's because in order to get everything over there, I had to rearrange things. So some of them are zoomed in and some of them are not.
Oh,
It's okay,
God.
you were wearing makeup,
Okay,
weren't you?
stream.
Yeah, I mean, she's all.
Oh, everybody look! Everybody look! A cat just walked in behind Angie. That was awesome too.
Aww.
I don't want to be that close.
I mean, if you switch back to the other one, you're just fine. See,
Oh, there goes another cat.
another cat.
The other one's on my laps. We
only have three guys.
Oh,
no,
there-
it's the same one. It's going back and forth.
Mid.
All right.
Okay.
They're fighting. They're breakdance
Right.
fighting.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
they're
we
not-
should start doing. Mind, body, will. Mind, body, will. Let's get back to it.
Oh, I'm jealous of your setup. Oh my
Okay, so I
God.
think we last left with Barman attempting to mock this creature that did not seem to take any
little
kind of
loud.
effect whatsoever.
It's the exact same volume it was when it left. I literally haven't changed it at all.
I was a little bit harder when we left. Now I'm a little bit softer, so gotta work back into it.
All right. So let's go to Hanoa. It's your turn.
There are so many voices in my head right now. And it's very uncomfortable.
With the back of a Volkswagen.
Squishy eye thing dies first. Then I'm gonna pummel the shit out of these yellow things. I'm gonna cast first as my bonus action. I'm gonna put Hex on the squishy eye thing.
Okay. So, yeah, the
Shoot his
out,
mouse.
out from these red and black bricks come these little motes of black, which just begin to coalesce around the squishy, reddy tentacle, like bulbous creature.
Gross.
Mm.
Gross is what it
Nom,
is.
nom, 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 nom.
And I blast it. 21 to hit.
21 hits. Finally, you catch your bearing. You've managed to stave off the voices in the head and focus. And this blast of energy just goes and smashes into it. Ooh, that's a
First
lot.
a 10 plus a d6.
Damn.
Mama.
This is how you do it.
10 force damage and 6 necrotic.
Yeah. Well, the amount of energy just blasted through this thing, it hits it and just ichor pours out from the backside of the small hole that you can kind of see through the middle of this creature. It shows no pain or emotion of any type, but if you look closely, you can see that the backside of it is oozing from several wounds. It is
Yeah.
it appears to be hurt.
As one would say, hurt.
Do you have any kind of movement or anything?
I've got some movement, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm going to 5. Sorry, barman. 10, 15, 20. That feels good enough.
Okay.
Doing this the whole time.
Okay. All right. Now it's turn.
Here we go. This is how we do it.
This is how we die.
Tentacle attempts to wrap around Abel, so the tentacle lashes out, attempts to snake around you. 7 plus 5. Nope. So that won't what do you call it? 12 doesn't hit you, does it? Once again, the tentacle tries to wrap around, and you just manage to just put the butt of your halberd in there and just kind of slough off the tentacle, and it just kind of goes back around.
Slough that
It continues. 5, 10. You do have a reaction if you wish. Oh, that'll hit. 5 points of damage. Managed to just slice like a little chunk out, and a little blob of jelly comes falling down as it goes over to Noah and attempts to bite. One side of its mouth just opens up. You can see the mouth that's over here. You can see it's still kind of bloody. It's got a little bit of flesh and torn shirt from where it bit Barman. It attacks. 5 and 5 is 10.
That does not hit me!
Okay, you managed to dodge out of the way as its mouth just goes, reaches down and just misses. And then the 3 eyes begin to spin around again. We'll do Noah's 1, Abel's 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. There's the first one. 2. This is back at Abel, and it's race 6. Strength saving throw. Abel.
I rolled a 4.
Boom. Oh, actually, we'll just put you there. You get shoved all the way back as this ray of orangish light just shoves you backwards 30 feet into the wall, and then the ray is just holding you back. You are restrained until next turn. Next ray. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Barman. Let's see. Wisdom save, Barman.
God, fuck you, Ryan.
All right, this is -1. I rolled a 6.
Because of the way the stairs are situated, you are frightened for 1 minute.
If the
I don't
architecture was better, you would not be frightened.
I was about to say. it's
Well, no.
only
I,
stairs.
I,
God damn you, Frank
I was
Gehry.
saying, I was saying something, but I can't. I don't know if you use your full movement on this turn or the next turn.
I think it's
it's
this
your
turn.
next. I think
Is
it's
it?
your next turn. Like when your turn comes around. I was gonna move you. You're not gonna move up the stairs. You're gonna move over here. This is the farthest you can get away from it.
Oh crap.
So, anyway, so on your next turn, you'll have to make a save or you'll flee in that direction. And then the last ray, 2. That's it, Folker. And all right, Dex. Of course, you get the dex save. So dexterity save, Folker.
Good.
Failed
Oh,
with me.
not good.
Okay, DC 13. It was DC 13. So this is the ray in which you saved previously, but no. So you have been slowed. Your speed is half for a minute. You can't take a reaction, and you can either take an action or a bonus action, but not both.
Well, it's a damn good thing that I have nothing to do but take actions. So
Okay. And that is its turn. So Folker, you are slowed for this turn, but may do your action.
it's a good thing that Hunter's mark is still up. I'm gonna shoot. And
Critically miss.
critically miss.
The effects of the slow are obviously just too much, and just trying to knock the arrow, it's just not working. And then you pull back in a
It
smooth
slows the
motion.
physics on the bowstring. The bowstring just
Pulling it back is just like everything's just not working, and the arrow just falls out, and you dry fire as the bow.
I was gonna say it's kind of like at Ren Fair when y'all have had a few too many drinks, but still trying to do archery.
Dry.
I take issue with that because I can hit a pillar.
But not the target.
I'm not shooting at the target. The pillar was my target. Okay. Well, Folker, you have half your move if you're going to move.
No.
Oh, okay.
God damn.
And you need to resist this ray.
Wait. It doesn't
She's
only
good.
last for turn. It's moved out of.
No, it
view.
lasts for 1 minute.
Right, but is it not
how could it
concentration?
still be raying her? It can't even see her.
Yeah, I can't even see her.
Oh yeah. Well, not only that, I'm sorry. It fired the telekinetic ray on Abel. So
Unable, right?
yeah. So you're no longer restrained.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna move then. So I'm gonna.
Go.
This one. Hold on. 1, 2, 3,
Get
4, 5,
them.
4,
And
5,
you.
6. I'm gonna step in
Dig
front of
it.
this. It's this fucking campaign. And I'm going to. Oh, what am I gonna do? I had this laid up. Shit. What do you think?
Keep the pimp hand strong.
All right. I'm gonna.
That's the title.
Right.
I'm gonna step up and walk towards this big nasty and swing my mace around as I'm walking up to it, and I'm going to grab my pendant and say Adaris and try to cast inflict wounds in hope that I can hit it. I don't know.
A touch attack of 12. You reach out and attempt to grab, and you do not grab it. You attempt to just try to grab one of its big tentacles, and it's just move out of the way. You do not grab one with your tentacle. Oh, with your hit, and your spell fizzles in your hand.
Oh, that's fun. Fine. I'm gonna move over my hand
Yeah,
And
but
put
bonus
him
action, you can move it
here.
up to 20 feet and attack.
And I'm gonna see if maybe this thing can fucking hit him
Okay.
for 16.
16, so the hand comes down and bitch slapping still.
Mm-hmm.
Smack! It hits.
It's like hitting a giant rubbery buttock.
It's gonna be 4 force damage.
Yeah.
So the gauntlet comes down and does it, and as it smacks, it's just this energy just comes off of that, the divine energy, and bah! And the thing, just a little bit of goo goes and splatters on the side of this. As a matter of fact, turnabout is fair play. The force of this just sprays ichor and goo off of this creature and all over Hanoa and just kaplack. So it just gets her neck and all over the side of her shoulder.
No, that's not gonna do
Fair
anyone any
play.
good.
Ew.
Oh
And
gosh.
that was a movement, an action, and a bonus action.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
your
it.
turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Abel. You have a strength save if you want to try to resist this.
I rolled a 16.
So you resist the ray, pretty much goes away, and now you have your full move, action, everything.
I will double move to get to here,
Okay.
and that is my turn.
Okay. Barman.
Excuse me. I'm going to look at the. Sorry, I'm just checking something really quick. Just double check. Okay, so this is going to get tricky. But using my superior tactical abilities that I learned in all of my special trainings, I'm going to place a sleep spell
Fuck.
right here. I'm going to place it in such a way that this corner right here is the only corner that gets hit. So 20 feet, I think, is here. Yeah. So yeah, centered like that.
Okay.
Let's see. So I will cast the spell sleep and do my cast at first level. Oh, it didn't do a thing. Whatever. It's 5d8.
It's 5d8.
Yeah, so 16 points of sleep damage.
The after you cast the spell, there is a almost an entire 6-second heartbeat of waiting to see what the heck happens, because the creature nothing seems to happen, and then all of a sudden the giant eyelid in the center just closes.
All right.
It's still floating there.
He just sleeps floating.
It's completely floating, but it's just floating, but its eyelid closes.
That's interesting. Because that does nothing. That doesn't like make it go prone or anything.
Oh yeah, that's not completely true.
Is it not? Okay, I'm just gonna yell out, everybody, now's your chance. I put it to sleep for a second. You should murder it till the balls fall out.
All right, and Hanoa, it's your turn.
Well, I'm gonna. He says it's asleep, so I'm gonna start to move away from it.
Okay.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Each along the wall. And I remember that the last time we did this, we all waited for the same time to attack. So I'm going to hold my Eldritch Blast until everybody else is attacking.
Okay.
Because I
Blast.
know it was reacting after me, so it's like in the turn order. That's my turn.
Okay. So Now, do I get a save? No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, he's just
It
sleeping.
just lasts 1 minute, right? So I don't get a save each of my turns.
Until it takes damage.
Yeah, he
Okay.
just wakes up once it takes damage.
Okay. So, Volker.
I'm gonna
Shit.
hold.
Is he still being beamed or whatever?
No, the beam's not affected. He is still slowed for 1 minute.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's not a
I
consequence.
assume I'm not. Well, no, I broke the save.
Yeah, you broke it anyway.
Is there any there's not a turn save on slow. If you fail it, you're just slowed for a minute. So
No, yeah, you can attempt to save at the beginning of your turn.
Dex.
Yep.
Nope. I'll hold. It's gonna take me as long to fire this fucking arrow as it is for everyone else gonna choose what to do. So I just like to think that
The arrow just is slowed too. It's like
it'll hit when they attack.
well, because of the distance, I'm not sure if you perceive the fact that Hanoa is also holding her action. But I mean, are you gonna fire or no?
Sure, I'll just shoot.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay. Ooh, my computer just had a fit there. 18 to hit.
Okay. Hanoa, go ahead and roll your Eldritch Blast because you see him, very very slowly taking thing and then firing, and then as soon as the arrow goes off, you're gonna fire yours.
Fuck, it's a 9.
Okay. So do the damage with the longbow.
Hello? Plus 1d6 for my hunter's mark.
We're not so different.
10 damage
you and
total.
Okay. Well, the arrow goes through and pierces the central eye, and then just the back of the thing explodes. The Eldritch Blast goes wide because the creature begins to fall to the ground. When all of you are inundated with a message that suddenly just kind of bursts into your brain, everybody is just gets this image, and you're pretty sure that everybody's doing it because although the image is kind of happening as this creature is essentially dying, everybody looks around and can kind of see that everybody sees it. And the thing that you notice is that the sky is kind of different. It's a different kind of color. It's still this ambient color, but it's more of like a greenish blue. And you can see the 4 figures that are seated around this well type thing. The 4 of them are standing, and then they all look at each other, and then they all kind of sit, and they do all these kind of motions, and then sit down, and it appears like they do in some sort of meditation or prayer. And then some time passes, and these jellyfish-like creatures just coming down through the stairs, and they attach themselves to these seated guys. And it seems like that all these jellyfish creatures just are a different shade. They're not necessarily blue. They're kind of soft pink, and their little tentacles kind of just go and attach themselves to these 4 yellowish creatures which are sitting there, who don't really move too much, and they just kind of float around in this area. Then walking in are several tall robed creatures, and they have this long purplish black robes. Some of them have weapons down by their sides.
Where are they
One of them is
walking in
carrying
from?
a large staff. I'm sorry, what?
Like where are they walking in from? Like
They
where's this
walk in
coming
from the stairs.
Oh, from behind us? Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, this is you guys
not-
aren't there.
Yeah.
And so then these 4 creatures walk in, and they're wearing all these purplish and black and greenish type robes, and they've got the strangest, craziest type head, They have a head that looks like an octopus, with tentacles hanging down here. One's carrying a large staff, and in they drag in this large bulbous creature that you just killed, and they just place it inside of this room. And when they place it inside of this room, all those little jellyfish creatures they turn from their soft pink to this blue, and they try to detach themselves from the seated creatures. How much time has passed in this? There's no way to quite tell. But then this, the creatures wearing all the robes that have the octopoid heads, they leave, and when they leave, they kind of like, you guess they psychically tap this tentacled creature in this, and it becomes sentient in that moment, and then starts moving around as the octopoid head creatures leave out from this room. And then the next thing you know is that the creature hits the ground and its tentacles go limp.
I immediately look to the closest yellow thing. Is it still sitting there?
Yes, the closest one is this one right here, which, remember, it got kind of knocked off kilter.
Mm-hmm.
Its legs are still cross-legged, its hands are still in its lap, but it's actually kind of leaning like this to the side.
And I still have feelings of hatred towards it.
You do.
I'm gonna stalk towards it and inspect it.
As you get close, you realize that it's desiccated and almost looks like a husk, as if it's been here for who knows how long, but it appears to have been mummified. That still does not detract your hatred towards it.
Stupid, gross, dead, yellow bullshit. I hate you. I don't know why. I hate you.
It appears that they have they have pointed ears, and even in life you can tell that this thing has really gaunt features, gaunt, sharp features. They're kind of like a sickly yellow, but this is like almost like a paler yellow, as it appears to have been. It's almost desiccated, and the clothing that it is wearing are very very dry and brittle and almost crumble to the touch.
They're dead.
But it's wearing these flowing kind of robes that have symbols and markings all over them.
Move over to Barman and ask him if he's okay.
Oh yeah, but also everybody who has had effects on them are gone. So
I'm like, it'll be okay. And I'm just gonna sit down here for a second. I just need to catch my breath.
I'm ignoring everything else and slowly trying to find arrows that are still intact.
How many did you fire?
6.
Yeah, you managed to get all 6 because most of them that went through this like ballistic type jelly, whatever, either fell directly down. You had the failed fumble one, so you gain all 6 arrows back, and they're all PO functional.
Lovely.
Yeah, because I don't think you didn't miss anything by much, and even when you technically missed, some of those were hits that just hit an appendage, didn't appear to do any real damage to it.
In our vision, when the yellow thing sat in the chairs, were there any glowing from the chairs or any runes or something special about them?
There's no chairs; they were on the floor.
Oh, they were sitting on the floor. I thought they were stone chairs for some reason. I grumble and I also sit down to take a rest.
Are there any of the jellyfish things still alive?
There is one that is uneaten, but you're unsure whether it's alive or not. It's back here in this corner, and it's just on the ground. It has not been eaten, but it's down here on the ground. It's not floating.
I want to go look at it.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to Barman and check on him, and depending on how he's feeling, do a maybe cast a healing spell on him. Barman, are you all right?
If I had to tell you, how I felt on a scale of 1 to 19. I would say I felt like a 10.
I'm gonna put my hand on him and say a healing word that I can't recall right now, because fucking
Isn't
whatever.
it Peach? Wasn't Peach the healing word?
Voland.
That's my healing word, this Peach.
I'm gonna say Voland, and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
Is this in fact a well?
Oh my.
It isn't. In fact, it appears to be. There is a shimmering pool inside. It doesn't. It appears to be like a liquid of kind of like a liquid light that doesn't give off any ambient light of its own. Meaning, it's not a light that's shining, but it's just like a shimmering pool of light.
I'll stir it with my halberd. See if I can. See what's in it.
Your halberd goes in and it kind of moves around as if it's like liquid. And you once your halberd enters the pool, you can't see anything below it.
Okay.
Meaning it's not. There's no translucent. So your shaft just disappears into that light, but it pulls back out. And it's fine. Yeah, I know, Ryan. Your shaft disappears in the light. I got it.
Did you ask the light first?
Didn't ask permission.
I had consent.
Was it I am entering?
I've entered.
I have entered.
Tonight I have exited.
Folker, as you go over to this creature, it's like a large sack, and it appears that one of the two tentacles have like little eye stalks here, but then it has a number of large tentacles which are just kind of like down below it. It does not appear to be in very good shape.
Hey, any of y'all over there? There's one left.
Are you asking for someone to come
Yeah,
help
I'm
us?
hollering just at everyone. It doesn't look well off, but enemy of my enemy, you know?
I'm making my way over there.
Enemy of my enemy? How do you spell that? Because it looks kind of like a sea enemy.
Can I do a medicine check on it?
Sure.
I mean, or animal handling. I don't know. Whatever you
If you
want.
do a medicine check, does that mean are you going to touch it?
Tell you what, I'm gonna touch it because I was over there already and I'm proficient in medicine, so I'm gonna
And I'm
touch it.
proficient in touching.
I'm proficient in touching, so I do an 18 on a medicine check.
Okay. As you reach over and grab some of the tentacles, kind of reach around your wrist and touch your wrist, and within your head, this creature, you get an instant sense that it's very benevolent, and it's very kind, and it looks at you. It speaks to you emotionally in a warm, emotional sense, and it seems fond of you, but it imparts the fact that it knows that there's nothing that you can do. It's going to die, but it's going to tell you that it's glad you came and dispatched the creature that was feeding upon it, the evilness that it was. And then you also get the sense that they came here not for any kind of the creature like itself. They came here for no type of evil purposes, and the things that were seated were also not evil. It did not hate them, but the things that were seated were dying in a catatonic state, and these creature and its brethren stayed to just kind of watch them and feed off their mental energies, and then the problem is that when they came to feed and watch over these beings that were seated, their presence somehow drew some darker evils to this place, inadvertently, and created some sort of telekinetic hub of activity here. And this creature is very sorry for what they've done inadvertently.
So, if any,
And it imparts the sorrow and regret that it may have caused, and that somehow they feel like they're responsible for the fact that this evilness found this place and did what it did.
so if anyone is coming over and sees Folker, he's actually crying. He's actually has tears coming down his face, and he's I can see, right? Even though I'm hearing this in my head, I still have eye
Yes.
consult.
No,
Okay.
no, no. Yeah. This is all like
Sure. A flash,
thinking
right.
vision inside of your head.
Right. So I look over at anyone who's near me, especially the ones that I know have shown healing arts, and I just go, heal it. Heal it. You have to heal it. I don't care what you got to do. Just don't let this thing die.
Yeah.
Please.
I'll throw the
Right.
word. I'll throw the word peach at it too.
And I'm very shaken.
I know this won't do anything, but
You say you throw the healing word.
sure. 5 healing.
Okay, so you don't touch it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. As you throw the healing word, Volker, you realize that it imparts this sense of empathy towards you guys, this goodness, and just this warmth of thank you. But essentially, it's telekinetic or telekinesis. Its psychicness just disappears, and it's just a massive jelly in your hands, and the blueness that it was turns to pink very slightly and then disappears. And it's just a shell of jelly.
Shell of jelly.
I don't move. I just sit there, continue to cry quietly.
Gonna investigate the well while he's crying for any symbols or marks or anything.
Yeah, no, the bricks and of the surrounding well are exactly the same things as the floor, the ceiling, and the wall. This entire island has been constructed of. Like I said, the well itself is only about 2 feet up, 2 feet high, and then it's just a couple inches below the lip of the thing. You see this liquid light.
Okay.
I give Folker a sad pat on the shoulder, and then I go back to trying to sit down and take my rest.
I guess I'll walk around the perimeter of the room looking for any other exits.
Okay. This is unlike the rest of the island. This structure, remember, on the inside is, despite my drawing, is very smooth walls. The floor is very smooth, and it's perfectly it looks like a the interior of a fully bricked house. And so, kind of tapping along the walls and everything. Take your time and don't notice anything else.
I'm going to take one of the clean linens that we've acquired and try to wrap the poor creature in it. And
Okay.
take my
Hey, buddy.
my pendant and kind of say a bit of a kind of a funeral ritual, and just hope that it finds some peace.
Okay. After it's almost been say about 30 minutes, you guys hear a familiar voice in your head. It sounds like the large creature from the cave, and you hear, "Return or be returned."
I did not keep receipt.
Quested.
I guess what are we
I'm
supposed
moving
to?
back to the well.
I
I'm
think we
gonna
have to go jump
in the well. I reach into the light with my hand.
It feels slightly tingly, but doesn't hurt in any way.
I think I'm just going to sit here and die.
Do you want to take one of these 4 spots?
They're too stinky.
I would like to say that I also go over here and I kick this one as hard as I can. Just
Yeah.
out of anger.
Stupid
they're-
yellow things.
Why did you guys hate those things so much?
I don't know. I hate it.
It's dead. It seems kind
I
of
hate it.
cruel. It seems cruel
Good.
to
I'm
do.
glad it's dead, and I still hate it that it's
It's
dead.
it's not doing anything. You're exerting effort. It's pointless.
I'm sitting here.
I thought you were kicking. Oh
And-
no, you're
and
not.
you
That's
would-
Andy.
and you would-
You're right next to me.
Your foot goes in as if like you kicked, like almost like a husk, and so your foot kind of goes inside there and comes back out, and there's just kind of dust and particles all over the place.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just
Huff
working
that
up
shit.
some rage.
Yeah, I walk over to the floating creature that is now on the ground and dead, and I pull out a dagger and I start mutilating the corpse.
As soon as you start kind of doing that kind of stuff, it liquefies fairly easily and leaves kind of like a rubbery membrane around. Apparently, go ahead and roll a nature check.
Ooh, I'm proficient. 0 bonus. Oh, a 19.
This appears to have been probably some sort of other creature at one time that was then transformed into this shape
Oh.
because you find remnants and residues of things on the inside that don't make sense, like things and structures that wouldn't necessarily have been a part of what this thing was.
Is there anything solid at all, even remotely close to solid?
I don't know.
Even
I'm
the
rock
stu-
hard
even the
right now
stuff
watching
that
this.
was, even the stuff that was solid at some point, like the things that look like they might have been bones, are jellified.
No, I'm just gonna continue mutilating the corpse.
I'm fully intending to try to get my spell slots back.
Okay.
That means that fishy friend is gonna force us to come back. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you the fact that it's an hour, and you can gain the short rest if nobody else is doing anything else but standing here.
Cool.
During that time, the voice does come back and say, "Return. You cannot survive there. It would hurt. I'm sorry. It'll hurt more if I have to bring you back."
You sent us here in the first place.
It's where you wanted to go.
No.
So it hears us.
Maybe.
Yes, great creature. I guess I stand up. I'm like, what?
How do we return?
I'm gonna jump in this well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have to take a dive.
Wait, just see what happens to me. Whatever. Either I'll die and whatever.
I'll remember you fondly, barman.
Please tell everybody. Just find all the people that meant something to me and just tell them to fuck themselves.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Will do.
Bye.
Can
bye.
I get a list of names first?
Just kidding right now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bloomp. I'll jump into it.
Okay. Barman disappears.
Should I roll my new character now, or do you want to wait? And
I jump in.
The rest of you have
I don't jump in.
do not hear anything from those two.
I rush over to where Barman jumped in and I start trying to feel in there.
you're stabbing me.
I'm like an idiot. Not with the halberd. What the hell did you just do?
Yeah, reaching down as far as you can, you don't feel anything down any further.
Gonna walk over to Volker and kind of check on him. And
He's there's kind of like a rubbery skin that's just
He's
kind of
wearing
around
it.
the area, but most of it's just like these clumps of jello and jelly, and like he's popped a lot of the eyes that were still kind of like eyeballs, and he just stepped on them and popped them. He did find an internal stomach which had a number of these other creatures which had been mostly and partially digested. But essentially, from that, that's about all it was. There was no bony structures at all within it. It was either different forms of hardness of jelly and jellified organs and organelles and stuff.
Oh, and
Well,
I haven't done this pleasantly. It wasn't like a surgical dissection.
No, I know that. There's just stuff is just strewn about everywhere.
Well, in solidarity, I'm also going to smash the goo at this point with my mace.
The
And
three
just,
of you stuck back in this room get the sense of like a feeling as if all of a sudden you're drowning, as if water boiled up from inside. And then you get the sense that all of a sudden you're looking about, everybody's wide-eyed. You get the sense of drowning, and you
This is what it's like when Ryan gets on a plane.
and then it's as if you're in like a vortex in a whirlpool, and the world just starts spinning and spinning, and you hit the ground, and then you wake up and you're back at the cavern, and both Hanoa and Barman are there, and they're just kind of standing. They're standing there. Yeah, it hasn't been too much time, but as soon as the three of you return, you just have the overwhelming sense of having to vomit, and you hit the ground and just vomit up an immense amount of slimy, salty water. That you just vomit it up.
no, thank you.
yep.
And then right after you all y'all vomit the water, and you look up, and you could just see that the large creature is there, and those three eyes, which were that dull red, almost maroon crimson, are glowing very brightly, and then they fade down to where the dull maroon glow.
So, that was a place.
That is a true statement.
And why don't we end it there? How's
Okay.
that?
That's
Yeah.
not bad. I'm still talking
Yeah.
in my voice.
Okay, I think Hanoa has things to tell y'all.
Oh god.
I'm gonna fuck it up next time anyway. All right. Thank y'all for joining us here on the Rules of Attrition. We've been Character Builder Radio. I would like to take a moment to give some thanks to the beautiful music that's been piloted by Ben here. We appreciate and give thanks to Ben Sounds for music and additional music by Scott Buckley at www.scottbuckley.com.au. Hope to see you next week. Hope we're still here next week. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Ah.